You alright? Welcome back to the channel. This is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings. We generally like to talk a load of bollocks, a tabletop game in general. And in this video, we're going to be running down a revised list of our top 50 dexterity games of all time. This is number 50, down to a number that I don't know of yet because I'm going to stop this video when I get bored out of my nut. So if you like dexterity games, then continue watching because there's going to be some really decent dexterity games on this list. Remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel, hit the like button, all that shit, leave a comment and all that crap, and I'll see you after this. Bollocks. So first things first, if you're a regular to the channel, then you will know that we've already done this video a few years ago. We did do our top 25 dexterity games. Dexterity games are one of our favourite genres, but there's been so many decent dexterity games released since that we thought we would do not only a revised list, but we thought we would expand the list as well. What we mean by a dexterity game? Well, it means that you can chuck something, you can balance something, you can flick something, you can stick it up your ass for all I care, as long as you are doing something with your hands and it's not just a lump of cardboard on a piece of cardboard, then we consider that a dexterity game, right? So let's crack on with this list. So number 50 on this list is a, I suppose, little known game called Flying Kiwis. Basically, the box of this game is going to be the board. You're going to have a grid in the box and you'll be using these basically like hairbands, rubbery hairbands, to flick these discs with kiwis on into the center of the board, and depending on where they land and what they land on, you'll get a certain amount of points for doing so. My kids love playing this game. It's so simple that my daughter could play this when she was about 2 years old. It does get a bit annoying when some of the kiwis do get flung halfway across the room, so you're going to have to go and get them. But it's a small price to pay for such a stupidly fun game. That's Flying Kiwis. That's our number 50. So number 49 on this list is a game by Blue Orange Games. It's Dr. Eureka. This game consists of a number of test tubes filled with coloured balls. You're going to flip over one of the cards and this will tell you how you need to arrange the balls in your test tube. So basically you'll be turning the test tubes over, trying to get the balls in the correct formula. The person who does that the quickest will be the winner. This one is quite thinky actually. It's like a relatively simple concept, isn't it? You know, just making sure that you plan ahead. It's a bit like one of them puzzles where you have to get a pattern together, but you've got one slot that hasn't got anything in, if you know what I mean. It's a bit like that. You've got to sort of plan ahead, like a Rubik's Cube type thing, yeah? My kids tend to be really good at this. I'm absolutely shite at this. I just cannot get my head around moving these things around. I think it's just because I blew my brains out at too many raves in the 1990s. But it's a very thinky game. You do get better at it as you play it more often, so there is that as well. But yeah, it's really cheap, it's really cheerful. It's Dr. Eureka. That's our number 49. So number 48 on this list is a bit of a weird one. It's called Sumo Hamslam. In this game, you're going to have an arena that is again in the box, and you're going to have these two plastic hamsters that have got holes in their gob, right? You're going to be attaching a magnet under the board. You'll be moving these hamsters around the board like in a wrestling match, and you'll be trying to knock over the other hamsters. In between this, you'll be rolling a die. This might give you food. You can train, which will make your hamster more heavy because you'll be putting these discs inside the hamster. It might do a variety of other things. This is a bit of a weird game. It's essentially a children's game, but I do like the wacky nature of it as well. But yeah, it's not for everybody. It is a little bit unfair because the hamsters do tend to fall over, but sod all that. If you want a weirdo beardo game, then Sumo Hamslam it's not too bad. Number 47 is another strange looking game. It's Humptys Wall game, right? You're going to build a wall in this frame and you'll stick Humpty Dumpty on top, and you'll be using this tiny little trowel, yeah, to knock bricks out of the wall in the hope that it doesn't collapse. This is a really cheap piece of shit game. The quality of it is complete and utter dog shit, but for some bizarre reason I really do enjoy playing this with my children, trying to knock the bricks out, trying to stitch them up, and trying not to let Humpty Dumpty crack his yoke all over my floor, right? So yeah, you can pick this up on eBay, a sort of a knockoff Korean copy for like a couple of quid. So yeah, it's just for 5 minutes of fun. Humpty Dumpty's Wall game might just tickle your fancy. So number 46 on this list is a card game that gets you doing all sorts of stupid shit, right? It's Yogi. Basically, in this game, you will be drawing a card from the deck that will show you a position or a way to stand, or you'll have to hold a card between your legs or do something weird, right? And then you'll draw the next card and you'll have to implement that one. But you'll have to continue holding the pose from the previous card, and you'll keep doing this until you've got like a last man or woman standing type thing, and then the person who's the last person standing will win the game, right? This works best at parties. I've found you could basically play up to any player count that you want, and it's always funny looking at your mother-in-law trying to stick her foot up her own arse, right? So number 45 on this list is a game that features one of the best gimmicks that we've ever seen. It's Pingo Pingo. The gimmick in this is that it features plastic guns with these dart things, and essentially what you'll be doing, you'll be listening to a soundtrack, a bit like a sort of Escape Curse of the Temple type thing. You'll be turning cards over that will tell you to do different things, and the soundtrack will then tell you to shoot your darts at these different targets whilst doing other stuff, right? It is a bit silly, but you stick a gun in the hands of my kids and they will go ballistic for it, yeah? It's probably the only game that we know of, there's probably others, but the only game that we know of that features guns with darts, and it utilises it pretty well. And for sheer novelty value, this is maybe a dexterity game that you should check out if you're a little bit curious, you know what I mean? So another strange, bizarre, weird game that we really enjoy is a game called Sticky Chameleons. Basically what you're going to be doing in this game, you're going to be sticking these cardboard tokens out into the centre of the table, and these will be in the shape of different insects like dragonflies, flies, spiders, all that sort of stuff, and then you'll get this strange elasticated plastic rubbery tongue type thing which is kind of sticky, and you'll be trying to flick it onto the table in the hope that you can catch the most lucrative insects on the tongue, right, to score points. The thing that makes this game really good is that you've got the opportunity to actually whack the other players' tongues, not their real tongues. Well, you could do that if you're a complete arse. You've got the opportunity to knock the other players' tongues out of the way of the dragonfly or insect that you want. It's stupid, again, it's cheap as chips, and there's enough tongues in this for 6 players. Got to stop with the double entendres, you know what I mean? Sticky Chameleons are number 44. So number 43 on this list is a game by Habbo. This is one of the first games I always played with my kids when they were very, very young. It's Animal Upon Animal. This is probably the simplest dexterity game that is available to humanity. Essentially what you've got is a load of these wooden blocks in the shape of animals like pelicans, monkeys. You've got a big old crocodile, and you'll roll the die and it will tell you what to do. You either have to place an animal on top of the crocodile. You might have to take an animal and put it on either end of the crocodile, human centipede style, or you might have to give one of your animals to another player, right? Like we said, this is really, really simple. When my daughter was 2, she had no trouble playing this. She just liked to stack the stuff on top and watch it fall over. But if you've got really, really young children and you just want to introduce them to the myriad of dexterity games that are available, Animal Upon Animal should definitely be your first port of call. You got it. So number 42 on this list is a game that allows you to chuck food at your most hated family members. This is Throw Burrito. Essentially what you'll be doing, you'll have this deck of cards, you'll be flipping these cards over simultaneously, and when there's sort of a match type thing, everyone that matched up will try and reach into the centre of the table to grab this foam burrito, and you'll be trying to lob it at one of the other opponents. There are rules in this for standoffs where you'll have back-to-back duels. You know, you'll stand back-to-back, take certain paces, and you'll lob this burrito. This is probably the only game that does feature the concept of lobbing burritos at each other, and for that reason, it's definitely made our list. It's just insane, hilarious, fun. So next game on this list would have definitely featured a lot higher had it not been based around an app, yeah? I'm not saying that it's a bad game, we really, really do like this one. But Beasts of Balance is sort of hindered by its reliance on an app. Basically, in Beasts of Balance, you've got this Bluetooth-enabled plinth, and you'll be taking these different shaped animals, you'll be scanning them on the Bluetooth plinth, and you'll be trying to stack them up to create different mixes of animals on the world that's in the app, yeah? So you might scan an octopus and then mix it with a dolphin, and it'll become an octodolphin or something stupid like that. Basically, it's a points-based thing, so the more powerful the creature you scan and manage to balance, the more points you're going to get. But basically what you do with all these balancing games, you're going to try and stack the animals as high as possible without them falling down, right? Which is quite a tricky thing to do because these pieces are quite abstract and difficult to stack. Like we said, this would definitely be higher had the game not been reliant on an app, because games like this are always prone to being Gollum Arcana'd, in the sense that the app is no longer supported on the operating system, or the developer pulls the app, rendering the whole game completely and utterly defunct. Yes, so we hope that doesn't happen, because Beasts of Balance is a truly fantastic experience, and if you like Dexterity Games, go out and buy it now. So we're going to wrap up part 1 of this. That was number 50 down to 41. I don't know how many more parts of this we're going to do. We'll get down to number 1 as quickly as possible, because I don't want you to be bored off your boobies. So with that in mind, please subscribe, like and all that crap, and we'll see you in the next video.